Welcome to another exciting episode of Doug's Electronic Repair Bench.
Back with you again, YouTube. Just want to take a look at this radio now that it's out of the cabinet, and we'll take a look at this and see what we have. I don't know if you've noticed it, but well, I guess you haven't seen it yet. This string is broke. I found part of the string with the spring in the back of the cabinet when I was taking it apart. I figured that was the case because the seller did state that the tuning knob didn't make it tune. This on-off switch is really tight. It's got a spring, and plus the knob is broke, so that'll be no problem. I have to have matching or find some more knobs anyway for this, so but that should be no problem. There's the push buttons. Now, I was hoping to get those off, but according to the schematic I saw, there's only two wires that connects that to the rest of the radio chassis. But if we look at once we look at the bottom, I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's a little bit more complicated than that. Let me turn around a little bit so we can see the back side. There's some not sure what that is. I guess that's just not sure exactly what the problem is with that, but we'll take a look at it. The chassis doesn't appear to be in terrible shape, but it's not in the best shape either. This tube here, get my finger out of the way, was the one that was out of the back, and it was laying in the cabinet loose. I did replace that, and so that's the story on the top side. You can look at the dial string there. It's off, like I said. So we will take it and turn it over to the other side here. Let me lay this camera down a second. Alright, you can see here all the capacitors in there. Now, it's pretty clear if you look close that, let's see if I can, yeah, there's one right there. Let me get a pointer here. This, see that solder blob right there? This has been replaced. There's another one right there that's been replaced. A lot of these capacitors have been replaced. Not all of them for some reason, but most of the paper capacitors have gone away. There's an original one right there, wax paper. Again, there are several also new resistors in, well, newer than the original. There's the original resistor there, and you can see the style of the resistor, and this would be a newer one right here. So there has been work done on this. Again, I think that's an original, has been replaced. But there's several that have been replaced, and probably what I'll do is replace them all, because you know, even the ones that's been replaced are kind of old. So like I said, we'll do that. But now, as far as this this push button is concerned, as you can see, there's 4 wires right there. 1, 2, 3, 4 that go in there. Plus, you have wires like this that are connected to the trimmer caps, and those would have to be disconnected. So the more I'm looking at this, the more I'm thinking it may just be better to leave it in there. And there's a lot of dirt in there, but that's the place I'm at right now. So if it wasn't for all the wiring, if it was just like I said, it was just 2 wires, it wouldn't be too bad to remove that. There's only 2 screws that holds it in, and we get a lot of stuff out of the way. I may still consider it. I'll look at the schematic again and see what I can see. But anyway, that's a good close look at the inside of the radio. Turned up a little more towards the light so we can see better. So you can see. And now, as far as the filter caps, I don't see any replacements in here in the bottom. So I'm assuming the original filter cap, which I didn't even look at it, but it's on the top side, is still in place. I do plan to power this up. The line cord is dirty, but I don't think it's bad. It's maybe a little mushy in spots, but it seems to be, everything seems to be intact, and the plug seems to be wired correctly. So I may go ahead and plug that into my Variac and isolation transformer and try to power that up on the with the dim bulb and see how it comes. Now the speaker does stay. I thought maybe the speaker was. Take a look at that. I thought maybe that speaker was out of it, but it's just not the right speaker. It's been replaced, so it's in there sort of haphazardly, but it can come out. There's the antenna, the back. There's two wires here, very fine wires. Let's see if that's not them. There's two more somewhere. Oh yeah, here they are. There's one right there. There's the other one right there that connect to the radio. And then this here terminal here is the terminal for the external antenna. So that was shown on the schematic. So like I say, the cabinet doesn't appear to be in very bad shape. Now there is a lot of this paint off the inside of the dial that came off. You can see that. That was the place on the front I was showing you that looked like it had came off, and sure enough it has. This stuff is really brittle. It just, you touch it and it'll fall apart, so no hope for that. So anyway, like I said, we'll go ahead and eventually I want to replace all this stuff, but for now I think the next step will be to try to power this up and see exactly what it does do. I noticed when I got the radio, the manual switch was not pushed in. So the complaint on the radio was that it worked, but it didn't get many stations. I didn't understand if it was just because of the dial didn't work or what. So we'll go give that a shot and see what happens with that. But I do want to try to power it up and go from there. So that's about it from here on this radio so far. I wanted to post this today. I probably won't get back to this for a while. The granddaughters will be back tomorrow, and I think they're staying until at least Thursday. So again, that will be taking most of my time. So you guys have a great rest of the 4th, and thanks for watching.